Today I'll be reading The Wizard of Oz by Frank Baum. The introduction is written by Cornelia Funke. I was born in Germany, where you didn't read The Wizard of Oz as a child, but Jim Knopf and Lucas the Storm Engine Driver, Pippi Longstocking, or Emil and the Detectives, or maybe Tom Sawyer. I've read that at least a dozen times, but not The Wizard of Oz. Surely that story was not a book. It was a movie, a famous movie, with an adult woman dressed up as a girl with lots of singing and very evil witches, wasn't it? Can't remember exactly how old I was when I found out that originally there was a book, as so often with great stories, telling the tale of the cowardly lion, the Tin Woodman who thinks he has no heart, and the Scarecrow who believes he has no brains. But I was a so-called adult when I first read it. Today, I own two quite different copies of this book. A German one with wonderful illustrations by Lisbeth Zwerger, my favourite being the one where the Tin Woodman and the Scarecrow carry the sleeping Dorothy through the deadly poppy field, and another one in English, the American first edition, with all its pages illustrated, but only in green and red, as it was hard and expensive to print colour at that time. When I started to write this introduction, I took the two books from my shelf and put them on my writing desk, and just looking at them made me realise once again what a timeless and unforgettable story Frank Baum told. Only the best stories inspire illustrators all over the world to find their own and often very different images for one story, because only very special stories create characters who speak to all of us, all over this world, who personify deeply human matters, the weaknesses and virtues, feelings and thoughts we all share. Although my first edition, which means it is quite an old book. Shows a Tin Man in almost the same way my German and quite new book does, other characters are drawn differently. For example, only in the old book does the lion wear a crown, and the Scarecrow is much fatter in the new one. Nevertheless, the characters in this story are unforgettable, and over the many years The Wizard of Oz has been told, readers have given its characters new faces, new clothes, new shapes, but still they remain the one and only Lion, Scarecrow, Tin Woodman, and Wizard. This is another wonderful thing about a great story like this. It changes all the time with the readers it finds. No child today will imagine Dorothy with pigtails as she is portrayed in the first edition. But however you imagine her, it will still be Dorothy, a character as immortal as a printed page can grant. But why exactly is this story a great story? I am tempted to say you should find out for yourself, as I believe that every reader finds another story between the pages of the book. If you don't like it, it is often not that the story is to blame, just the fact that it was not the right one for you. The better a story is, the more readers will find themselves in it, and each one will find something that seems to be especially for him or her. A certain episode or character, sometimes a sentence, that gives us the words for something we always knew but never had the words for. Yes, that's what storytelling is all about. Word finishing and giving birth to characters from these words. When we remember a story, what do we remember most? The story itself or its characters? Don't these characters sometimes follow us through all our lives, like good friends. That's another kind of magic a great story can weave. The Wizard of Oz will make you meet 3 quite unforgettable characters. Your own beating heart will suddenly remind you of the Tin Woodman, who so desperately longs to have such a heart. Each scarecrow you see in a field will make you ask yourself whether this one would also like to walk away to find a brain. And every lion's roar will remind you of the cowardly lion who touched your heart in the Kingdom of Oz. This is another thing a great story can do. It adds another reality to the one we see. It weaves another story into our own and makes them all one, as they probably are anyway. So open the book and start travelling through the pages. It will be quite a journey and you won't come back the way you started, which is true for all journeys, especially written ones. Accept the invitation of the printed letters and step into the strange land of Oz. And if you are luckier than me, you'll go there while you are still a child. Thank you for listening to the introduction of The Wizard of Oz, and I will be back in the next video reading chapter 1 of The Wizard of Oz. I hope to see you there. Bye!